All right, hey everyone. So we're going to start off with today's IXL. So today the strands that you are going to be completing are 2LU and 94Q. Okay, so there's two strands. Those are the two. The first one is 2LU. The second one is 94Q. So I'm just going to do some examples. Again, this is review of things that you have done in the past. I think you'll find the first thing pretty easy. The second one might be a little bit more of a step up challenge, but I think after, seeing my examples, you guys will feel like you're in a good place. So the first one that we're going to have is you are given situations, you're given equations, and you're given tables that you need to complete. So in this example, it says there are 5 cherry trees in Manny's orchard and he wants to plant more. It takes him an hour to plant each tree. Let H represent the number of hours Manny spent planting and C represent the total number of cherry trees he will have. So the equation that we see is C equals H plus 5. We're trying to figure out this value of C and this value of C when H is 1 and when H is 3. So for the first one, we're going to take when H is 1 and we're going to replace this H with a 1. So we have 1 plus 5. So when you do that, you get C to equal 6. So that means you're going to put 6 here. Think of it as like an output-input table. You're trying to look at what is the rule that's happening. And the rule is we're always adding 5 onto H. So for the next one, we have 3, same thing. You're going to add on 5. Well, 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay? So that's how you would go ahead about solving that particular problem. Next one. Oops. Okay? This one says, every week, Dominic orders 10 cans of food for each cat at the local animal shelter. Let C represent the number of cats and F represent the number of total cans of cat food. So our equation is F equals 10C. To figure out how many cans of cat food, we have to take however many cats we have, C, and multiply it by 10. So for the first one, we have F equals 10 times C. Remember, when a number is next to a variable, it means a multiplication. So I'm going to replace the C, the variable C, with 3. So we have 10 times 3. Well, 10 times 3 is 30. So for 3 cats, you're going to need 30 cans of cat food. The next one is when C is 4. So just like we did to find the number of cans of cat food F, we would take 10 and we multiply it by the number of cats. This time we have 4 cats. So we're doing 10 times 4. 10 times 4 gives you 40. So for 4 cats, you're going to need 40 cans of cat food. Next one. When Noah is given a long-term assignment, he always finishes it 2 days before the due date. That's very responsible. Let D represent the number of days given to complete the assignment and F represent the number of days Noah takes to complete the assignment. So we have F equals D minus 2. Okay? So here's our D value. We're trying to figure out our F values. So the first one is D is 4. So we're going to replace the D with 4 and we're going to subtract 2 to figure out what F is. So F is going to equal 4 minus 2, which is 2. Okay? For the next one, we rewrite the equation. F equals D minus 2. We don't know what F is, but we now know that D is 6. So we're going to, this is supposed to be minus. So 6 minus 2, so therefore F will give you 4. So the rule every time was just to subtract 2. 3 minus 2 gave you 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay? A restaurant has 40 waiters on permanent staff. It hires some temporary waiters during busy times of the year. Let T represent the number of temporary waiters and W represent the total number of waiters. Okay, so we're comparing temporary versus full-time. So T is temporary, W is complete number of waiters. Okay, so the thing about this one you'll notice is they don't give you an equation. So we have to figure that out first. So your equation is always going to equal this whatever variable is in the second column. So we have W equals, okay? We have to figure out how do we go from 2 to 42. Now, if you look up here, it says a restaurant has 40 waiters who are permanent, and then it hires some temporary waiters. So we're always starting with 4, and these are the numbers of temporary waiters added on. And I meant to say 40, not 4. So if we already have a staff of 40 and we add 2 more, that's how we get our 42. So what's happening is we're taking 40, the amount of staff we have starting, so our permanent staff, and we're adding on an additional temporary staff number. So in that example, we replaced T with 2, and that got us that 42. For the next one, we would have the 40 people we start with, plus however many temporary staff members we get. According to this, we have 4, so we would do 40 plus 4, which would give you 44. You go right down the list. So if this one you're going to add 40 as well, that's going to give you 46. This one you're adding 8, so that's going to give you 48. So that right there is just kind of a breakdown of how you'll approach 2LU. The next strand that you're going to be working on is going to be 94Q, all right, and that is here. So just like the one that you had, what we're doing now is you're given a completed table and you have to fill in the missing component of the equation. So every day at the bakery, Simon bakes 1 less bagel than muffin. Let M represent the number of muffins baked during the day and B represent the number of bagels. So complete the equation that represents the relationship between M and B. So you'll see they already gave you B. So we have the equation equaling 1. So we have to figure out what are we doing every time to go from here to here. How do we go from 2 to 1, 3 to 2, 4 to 3, 5 to 4? Well, we're subtracting by 1. If you think 2 minus 1 equals 1, 3 minus 1 equals 2, 4 minus 3 equals, I'm sorry, 4, that was wrong, that was my mistake. 2 minus 1 equals 1, 3 minus 1 equals 2, 4 minus 1 equals 3, 5 minus 1 equals 4. So what we're doing every single time is we are subtracting by 1. So in this box to complete the equation, to get the number of bagels, we have to take however many muffins we are and subtract 1, which makes sense because he always makes 1 less bagel than muffin. Next one, Josh listens to 6 minutes of an audiobook every day during his commute to work. Let D represent the number of days commuting to work and M represent the total number of minutes Josh listens to an audiobook while commuting. Complete the equation that represents the relationship. So if you go ahead and zoom in and look at this table, guys, we're trying to think about, all right, what's the relationship? What's happening? Are we adding, dividing, multiplying, subtracting? Well, to go from 6 to 36, I know that 6 times 6 is 36, so I'm going to test multiplying. Well, 7 times 6 is 42, 8 times 6 is 48, and 9 times 6 is 54. So therefore, I know to get M, I have to take whatever is in the D row or column and multiply it by, oops, I made a mistake. I need to multiply it by 6. Again, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 times 6 is 42, 8 times 6 is 48, and 9 times 6 is 54. So that's my rule, is to multiply by 6. For this one, okay, each location of a chain restaurant employs 10 more waiters than cooks. Let C represent the number of cooks at a location and W represent the number of waiters. So we're trying to figure out how do we go from 7 to 17. Well, right here it says they employ 10 more waiters than cooks. So how do we start with 7 and go to 17? Well, how do we represent 10 more? We're adding 10, guys. 7 plus 10 gets us 17. 8 plus 10 gives us 18. 9 plus the 10 more waiters gives us the 19. 10 plus 10 more waiters gives us 20. So the rule every time is just to add 10. Okay? So your job for today in terms of IXL is to go in, you're going to do these 2 strands. So again, 2 LU, and then the next one is 94Q, and you only need to get a 55 SMART score for each of them. Tune in tomorrow to Schoology because there will be another video lesson along with another IXL strand for you to do. And remember, we will be meeting on Zoom Friday. Have a good day, you guys. Bye.